Hello, Fox fam. So I'm back again, and today we are going to talk about why I joined the military. One reason I joined the military was for them to pay for my education. Another reason was to have a consistent check rolling in and to travel. So back in 2011, I started the process. I was about a year in college. I am working, going to school, and I'm a cheerleader. I was like, this is becoming too much. And I had moved into an apartment where I was paying, I think, $550 a month. And it got to a point where I was like, I don't have any extra money to do anything. So I was asking my dad for $40 here and there for gas. I was buying groceries, getting food to eat. Like I was like, this is not the life. Like I'm just working to pay bills, and I'm not even done with school. And I was pretty much qualified up front, and after they did all of the checks that they were gonna do, I really just needed to see if I could pass the exam. When I started to talk to my family about this decision that I made, I remember my mom was like, "Are you sure, Makia? Like, are you sure this is what you want to do?" So I was just like, "Yeah, I'm sure this is what I want to do." And I had talked to the recruiter, and he pretty much, you know, gave me some insight on, it's not as bad as people make it seem. And most of the time, people think of the military and you think of it as like, oh, you're in a war zone all the time and you're constantly shooting guns and at war with people. No, it's not like that at all. It's like, it is like that. It is serious. You should take it that serious, but they do have normal day-to-day operations just like they do in the civilian world. Everyone looked at it differently, but it was me, trying to join the military. I was this girly girl, cheerleader in high school, cheerleader in college. I had just been crowned Miss Lawson, and it was just like, you're wanting to go to the military? Huh? Wait. Pineapples. So everyone is, wondering and worried about, oh my God, Makia's going to the military, just thinking the worst, I'm sure, and you don't know what to expect. You might leave and not come back, and you're gonna be over there in the middle of the war. I understand, but I was just super confident in my decision, and I went through with the process. I mean, I was very confident in my decision. Like, I didn't care who I talked to. I didn't care what they said. That's what I wanted to do, and I did it. So when you join the military, you are signing up for whatever job you qualify for and whatever job you chose, or whatever job that they just assigned you to. Everyone's process is different. I decided that I wasn't going to study. It was pretty much like a faith move. I just needed to pass the test, and he said that I could take the test in his office, and if I scored 50 or higher or close to a 50, then he would schedule me to take the real thing. So I was like, okay. So I took the practice in his office, and I think I made a 47. If I'm not mistaken, it was a 47. And I think it may have been like 9 components on the test. I think it was 9. It took maybe like 4 hours or so. But y'all, I got those results, and your girl made a 52. barely made a 50, but I made a 50 without studying. And that's like, I was like, okay, it's meant for me to go. Because if I didn't make a 50, I was like, okay, maybe it's not meant for me. But I stepped out on faith, and I just did it. Okay, so now it's after I passed the test, it's just like a waiting game. I picked the jobs that I thought I wanted, and yeah, you just wait around for an opening date for you to go to basic training. And I still have time to decline. You know, I don't have to go. But so I was just letting it just happen and not thinking too much about it, but still going through with school and trying to finish out that semester. I was still a cheerleader. It wasn't until after I got crowned Miss Lawson when I called him back, because I had not heard from him for maybe like a whole month. So I'm like, okay, am I still going? Like, I just got this scholarship, another scholarship for winning Miss Lawson. Like, do I really want to still go? Like, okay. So I decided to give him a call. And when I called him, he was like, oh yeah, Fox, I do got you a date. So I'm like, oh my God, okay. Anxiety started to kick in. My heart started beating fast. And my stomach started hurting. I'm like, this is it. Like, oh my goodness. And y'all, he told me my date was like January. Mind you, it's the end of November 2011. And he said that I would be leaving the end of January 2012. So like in 2 months. So I had to get myself together in 2 months. I had to move back out of the apartment, clear the apartment out, move my stuff back to my parents' house, and try to prepare physically for the military. Do y'all know I could not do one push-up? I could not do one push-up before I left for basic training. Nope, I couldn't. So my mom put me together going away. A lot of people came. Oh my God, such a great turnout. And I boo-hoo crying, y'all, at the going away. Because one, I was just overwhelmed by the support. And then I was excited and nervous at the same time. And it was like I was really just trusting God. I wasn't scared. I was nervous. I wasn't scared. I was nervous. That's what it was. But I was just, it was nothing for me to be afraid of. I didn't feel like it was nothing to be afraid of. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I didn't feel like it was gonna be anything detrimental. If anything, it was benefiting me in my life. So I went to basic training, did the 8 weeks. I was able to write my family, write notes. I think I was able to use the phone for 10 minutes every week. Basic training, the Air Force basic training is not as bad as people may think. And it was just very physically demanding, and mentally it could be too much for other people because they try to get in your head and break you down. But it didn't bother me because most of the time I was laughing because I feel like I just didn't take them serious because I knew that they had a job to do, versus other people, they're not used to people just fussing at them and hollering at them all the time, but I was used to it. I knew they weren't gonna give me a whooping. I mean, they could just tell me to run up and down the stairs or do jumping jacks or do flutter kicks or something, but I knew they couldn't do any harm to me. And I was laughing. A couple of times I got in trouble for laughing, or I got the whole flight in trouble for laughing. But my experience in basic training was not that bad. If anything, it was just physically stressful. I think I started out being one of the top 4 runners to finish running out of 60 girls. But by the time we got done, I think I was the last 4. Like, it just really, it takes a toll on your body. Everybody isn't built for it. Even though I was a cheerleader, I was built for that, but you're talking about wearing those heavy combat boots every day, and you're having to run up and down the stairs in them and run 2 and 3 football fields long, or walk that far, march that far. It's a lot, but the overall experience, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed basic training. I was probably in the best shape of my life when I finished, and sometimes I still wish I could just do 8 weeks of boot camp again so that I could get back in that kind of shape. Got through basic training, did the graduation ceremony, everything. My family came out to support me, and after that, I went to tech school in Fort Lee, Virginia. I think I was out there for 6 weeks. I can't remember. Seems like a long time ago, but it really wasn't. I just don't remember, y'all. And I did my service specialist training there, and I came back home to Birmingham, and I got notified. I think I got notified before I left basic training that I would be stationed in Louisiana. So I moved out there June 2012, and I pretty much stayed out there my whole enlistment. I didn't get stationed anywhere else besides going on one deployment to a non-disclosed location in Southwest Asia. It was fun. Like, the deployment was not that bad. It was one of the best deployments you could go on in military history. And I learned a lot, and I experienced a lot living in another country, in the desert at that, in like 100-degree weather. I'm not talking about 101. I'm talking about 120 and 130-degree weather, staying in trailers, and it was an experience, but it wasn't a bad experience. And long story short, it just wasn't for me. It's too political. I don't mesh well. It seems like common sense is just not common sense for everybody. So, besides me not being able to mesh well with that system that they have, and it being too physically stressful on my body, I was just like, I'm gonna head out. So I went through the whole process of getting out, and everything went smooth for me. I am thankful and grateful for that experience. I am just glad that I let the Holy Spirit lead me to make that decision, even though so many people were doubting me and not sure that I could handle it. And they were fearful. I wasn't, they were. But just because someone else may be scared to do something, or they're not sure if it's something they would do, or they feel like, Makia, that's not you. I mean, you just never know. And you don't let that type of energy distract you from whatever it is that you really want to do. And you definitely don't let other people talk you out of a decision that you are making that will benefit you in the long run for when you start your own family. So, you respect people's decision and you respect their opinion, but at the end of the day, it's your life. You do what you want to do. You do what's best for you, because you're going to be the one responsible for whatever happens. Whatever bills you accumulate, you're responsible for that. Whatever children you decide to make, you're responsible for taking care of them. So you just never know. Like, you just step out on faith and you trust God, and you just never know how it may benefit you in the long run. So I'm thankful and I'm grateful for that experience. It taught me a lot. Self-development, a lot of professionalism, dedication, attention to detail, time management, organization skills. got a lot from the military, and I am very thankful and grateful. That's one of the best decisions that I've ever made. And if you are thinking about making the decision, I mean, if it's something that you really want to do it. If you only want to do it for them to pay for your education, do it. If you only want to do it to experience traveling, well, you might want to think twice, because you might get stationed in one spot for 16 years. You might travel 2 or 3 times. You may not travel as much, but you know, you can take your time off and travel and take vacation or whatever. But yeah, so just step out on faith. You know, don't be afraid. It's not as bad as it may seem. It just wasn't for me. And I'm thankful that I did it, but it's over. That chapter is over for me. And yeah, so that's why I joined education, travel, and to have that consistent money coming in until I got where I wanted to be. So if you're thinking about joining, feel free to comment, send me a message, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. I talk to people all the time about the military. I don't have a problem answering any questions that you may have. If it's something that I can't answer, I can definitely point you into the right direction. Yep, so thank you all for watching. See you all again next week. Don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn those notifications on so that you don't miss a